Years ago, we had 2 rainy seasons here in this area. It was quite a forested area. Through the years, people kept cutting wood for firewood and charcoal, and now you can see we have this bare, almost desert kind of area. It's just incredibly bad. Small children don't remember rain, but the time it rains again, we usually don't get one single drop from like the end of February to early December or mid-December. The charcoal has to come from farther and farther. There's just a crisis around the corner. It's incredibly terrifying to think. And in 3 or 4 to 5 years, they're not going to have anything to cook with. During the seminar, we asked in general, and one of the women answered when I asked, "What are you going to do when the charcoal's all gone, when the firewood's all gone?" And just in this amazingly matter-of-fact way, she said, "We're going to die." I was really startled. I basically knew that, but I was startled that she would be so frank like that. And I said, "Are you the only one that thinks this?" And she said, "No, we all know it."
Right now, we don't have forests. Our wives are using corn stalks to cook, and when they come out of the kitchen, they're scrubbing their eyes because of the smoke.
How many of you have known a child that was seriously burned? Obviously, all of you.
With the traditional coal stoves that are used now, children are put at serious risk. Open flames could easily burn a small child if they step too close. And the common practice of scraping hot coals out onto the floor to regulate cooking temperatures also poses a high risk to children who could be seriously injured. Many times the burn wards are not big enough for all the emergencies that happen. Charcoal is expensive. Generally, a fourth to half of a family's income goes towards charcoal. Even so, there is a high demand for it due to population growth, which causes stress on the environment. Because of the extreme poverty, people will often cut down trees for firewood instead of buying charcoal, which results in more deforestation.
Most of the time they can be able to afford this charcoal. Yeah, some of them just use firewood.
These small stoves that we want to use to help them have a fire in the morning for their morning tea, which is very important to them, and the solar cookers can almost totally eliminate the need for cutting a tree. They can plant trees that produce small branches, and 2 or 3 of those little twigs or branches, tiny ones, can cook in the morning tea, and it can heat up. The food that they want for lunch can be heated up and put in the solar cooker, and by lunch they have food to eat. And the other food that they want for dinner, they just put straight in the solar cooker, and it's ready for dinner. So this is our goal, to get these cookers, solar cookers and twig cookers, in as many homes as we can, and as many people trained like these people have been trained. As many people as we can train, and they can train others. Then when the crisis is really enormous, people will be lining up at their doors. "Help me, you've been doing this, and you've been teaching a few, now you need to teach all of us."
Cooking with these stoves is exceedingly simple. One merely mixes the batter just like they normally would. Then the batter is placed into a pot painted black, which is then placed in a special insulating bag in the solar cooker. When left out in the sun all day, the food cooks just as it would on a traditional stove and tastes delicious. But don't take my word for it.
He says this food is really very good. Yamani laini. The meat is really soft. He says he's going to not only cook, he's going to teach it. We're talking about the morning tea and how, If we wake up and we don't get a cup of tea, we really feel like we haven't started the day, don't we? There's a lot more to a cup of tea. It's fellowship. It's the gathering element in the morning or in the evening, whenever people have it. And it's just a special custom. They do it every day, and then they will, even if they're out of sugar and out of tea leaves, if you come, they'll go borrow from your neighbors so they can share a special cup of tea with you. It's just a deep part of the culture. And to skip tea in the morning, many people have to do that. Or even those that do have a cup of tea, that may be all they have until evening. Thousands, if not millions of people in this country have nothing in the morning and go out to the fields and work all day and finally get a little something to eat in the evening. So you can see that not only is the cup of tea great for fellowship, but psychologically it's the beginning of the day. And they feel like it gives them energy and mental acuity to just do whatever needs to be done during the day.
Most families have at least a small kitchen garden. This supplements their diet, which is strained by the tight household budgets. We will be teaching about high nutrition plants that are not commonly grown in kitchen gardens, such as the moringa plant and the cranberry hibiscus. These plants can be dried and powdered and added to food to increase the nutritional value of regularly eaten staple foods.